Winning in a fighting game is great, sure, but even better than winning is winning with style. And while any old Tom, Dick or Ryu can win a bout by battering someone unconscious with their fists, it takes a real violence connoisseur to finish the fight in a more creative, unusual or unexpected way. Ways like these 7 creative fighting game finishes for the discerning beat-em-up fan. Enjoy!
Join us against Kronika.
I have my own home to protect and serve.
You disappoint me, Alex Murphy.
Round 1. Fight.
Everyone knows how fights are supposed to end in Mortal Kombat games. You beat an opponent down until they run out of health, a disembodied voice tells you to finish them, and then you subject them to a brutal dismemberment straight out of an anatomy textbook diagram. Or, I mean, you do if you get the buttons right.
You are under arrest, dirtbag.
And though it doesn't sound right, much more painful for your opponent than having their arms pulled off and being beaten to death with the wet ends is Mortal Kombat's Mercy mechanic, which allowed the victorious player to take pity on their defeated opponent and give them a small amount of health back so that the fight could continue. Introduced in Mortal Kombat 3, Mercy makes a reappearance in Mortal Kombat 11, where you can use it to effectively beat your opponent twice, thus cementing your dominance over them.
Smile.
Or, if you're not careful, your opponent could make an incredible comeback and deal you a devastating finishing blow, followed by a gruesome fatality to punish your hubris.
Finish him.
Or, yeah, actually this is more likely.
Now the moment has finally arrived to end this long, ongoing battle that has lasted since the destruction of the Sue family. Can you endure the mission to avenge our wrath? Show me what you can do.
Bushido Blade 2 for the original PlayStation is an unusual fighting game in a lot of ways. For a start, there are no health bars, time limits, or super gauges, and the fighting is based around honourable samurai duels where you must read your opponent's stance, parry and counter, and a single well-placed hit can be enough to end a fight. Or, I mean, you can also bring guns, apparently. One unique feature of the Bushido Blade games, however, was the fact that at any time, either competitor could press the select button and surrender, at which point a short cutscene would play in which the surrendering character would kneel before the victor in supplication, and the noble winner would, holy murder them with a sword to the throat.
Ready?
Which, I guess, is the honourable way to go about things, according to the code of Bushido.
Idiot!
I will say it does seem a little less noble with the gun characters, not gonna lie.
Die.
Not my day!
With the exception of some truly spectacular ultra combos, the Street Fighter series has always been quite traditional when it comes to ways in which you can end a fight. Like I say, traditional. With the advent of Street Fighter V, however, those who want to add a bit of flair to their fisticuffs can now take advantage of the areas that exist just beyond the boundaries of the stage on the right and left-hand sides of the screen.
It can't be over!
Hit an opponent hard enough at the end of a round while up against one of these screen edges, and you can knock them out of the normal area of play and into one of these screen side areas where something often unpleasant and usually hilarious is waiting to embarrass them further. These include such standout dunks as having a snowman fall on them, being kicked through a wall into a public toilet, getting locked in a bank vault, and of course being launched into the sky out of a fireworks cannon.
Okay, 10 points. I did it!
Special mention, however, has to go to the ones where you crash into something and an item lands on your head, which you then have to start the next round wearing. For example, a big fiberglass hot dog.
I did it!
Round 2. Fight.
A bold new look for Ryu. I say keep it.
Finisher. Wins.
By the time Mortal Kombat 3 rolled around, you could tell that even the developers were starting to run out of ideas for fatalities. I mean, judging by the fatalities.
Melina wins. Fatality.
That's presumably why they introduced Animalities, a stylish new way to humiliate your defeated opponent, which involved you turning into an animal and then maiming them in some amusingly over-the-top way.
Wins.
What was great about Animalities was how they made zero sense. Reptile, for example, turned into a monkey, which is notoriously a mammal.
Reptile wins.
Melina turned into a skunk who smelled her opponents to death. Rain turned into a tiny elephant who trumpeted his opponent's skin off. And Shiva turned into a scorpion. Wait, so what did Scorpion turn into? Ah, Penguin, of course.
Don't you want to finish? Ciao! You got one left, right?
If you're looking for stylish fighting games, look no further than the Guilty Gear series, which look like playable high-budget anime shows with a killer soundtrack and a range of truly bizarre and wacky characters.
Too easy.
Most stylish of all, however, are the game's instant kill or destroyed moves, special moves that will end the match with what is essentially a short film in which your character will subject their opponent to some sort of terrible ordeal in the name of martial victory.
Take it into the limit! I got a feeling this is gonna hurt.
Some of these are of the straightforward special attack variety.
That's your best?
But the best ones are the ones that get really weird with it, like Faust's, in which he performed unsolicited plastic surgery on his opponents.
This isn't going to end well.
Slayer's, in which he subjects his opponent to a poetry recital.
On a vacation. Now irretrievably lost. Keeps me warm all night.
And Bedman's, which,
The deepest parts of your psyche. Gods, these are all lies.
to be honest, I have no idea what was going on there. Cool though.
Saying you'll win next time is a courageous sentiment, but you're in my dream, and I don't really see that happening.
Win.
Sub-Zero with flawless victory.
Oh, hey, remember what I was saying about the Mortal Kombat developers maybe running out of ideas for fatalities? Turns out, I might have been onto something, because when Mortal Kombat Armageddon rolled around in 2006, they straight up said to players, alright then, you do it.
Kreate-A-Fatality takes regular fatalities to an all-time new level. You get to design your own. You get to humiliate your opponent many more times than with a regular fatality.
The idea behind the Kreate-A-Fatality system was simple. What if, instead of a good cinematic fatality designed by professional game designers, you instead had an absolute horror show of unconnected violence as designed by some rando?
Kano wins.
That's not to say there wasn't the scope for creativity. To build your finishing move, you had to string together moves with a timer that determined how long you had before the next move had to come along. So for example, you could string together a series of kicks and body blows before transitioning into a heart pull, and then some quick limb removal.
Senya wins.
Or, if you wanted, just a series of devastating kicks to the groin and butt. Hey, say what you like. Gets the job done.
Ring out! You win! to give up?
Finally, we have the creative finish for the fighter in a hurry, the noble ring out, as exemplified by the Soul Calibur series, in which it happens all the time, whether you want it to or not. Fights in Soul Calibur take place in a series of precarious arenas with no safety railings or indeed any safety measures whatsoever. So if you find yourself straying towards the edge of an arena, you better watch your step, as it's surprisingly easy to get knocked back off the stage and into oblivion. In many fighting games, this would be the point at which you and your opponent would fall to a different level and carry on fighting, but Soul Calibur doesn't have time for any of that nonsense. If you fall off the stage, that's on you. Round over. On the plus side, this does mean that you can get rounds over with nice and quickly if you don't fancy going to all the effort of reducing an enemy's health bar down to 0. Just lure them over to the edge, switch sides, and then send them packing. One day I'll learn a second move, but that day is not today. So there you have it, those were 7 creative ways to finish a beat-em-up bout for those who like to fight with flair. Got a favourite technique we missed? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload a video like this one. Thanks for watching.